I've built a lot of stuff in Minecraft throughout the years, as I've been playing for a long time. Yes, I'm old. But recently, I found there's nothing more satisfying than finishing a good build in survival Minecraft. I've played on a lot of different servers in my time, and had a good few single player worlds as well, where I've built some stuff I'm proud of. But there's nothing I'm more proud of than my mega bases. Ooh, mega bases. You spend hours and hours grinding materials and even more hours putting them all together to create something, well, mega. Today I'm going to be ranking my top 5 mega bases I've built and giving you a tour. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and leave a like. Let's start with a couple of honorable mentions. Starting with my temple I built in my series Minecraft Goals. This was a kind of mega build for me at the time. Looking back now though, it's not that mega, although the surrounding area and scenery really does make this quite unique, as it's all kind of part of the base with the 4 different seasons you have going on here. But it remains an honorable mention because it is quite unfinished, and also it's just okay in my opinion. Our second and final honorable mention is the mega base I built in less than 100 days from scratch. This was a one-off video, but as you can see, lots of basic materials. It was also just completely empty on the inside, but seeing as it was built in such a small amount of time, I'm still quite happy with this. But it remains an honorable mention. Anyway, let's get into the proper list now, starting with, of course, number 5. And here we have our base from our 100 hours of hardcore series with Grian and Scar. Unfortunately, this isn't my final base. This is just the one I built in my test world, so there's a lot of things missing. But you can still see the scale of this thing, and I'm very happy with how this base turned out, using a different color palette that I hadn't really used before. But like I said, unfortunately, some stuff is missing. If you walk around, you can see that only a few of the rooms are actually decorated inside, where in reality, in the actual world, they were all decorated. Like this one here is empty, whereas in the real series, Lizzie decorated it to make it look like a frog. This one here is decorated but not functional, and the main central room is missing all the villagers, a few sections over here, etc. The base on the server was quite lively with lots of cool different sections, but a lot of it got blown up, which was unfortunate in the final episode, where we let all our friends on and they instantly tried to kill us and started causing mayhem. But let's talk about one thing quickly. Yeah. I wanted my base to be the tallest on the server, and Grian had to come along and try and beat me with that. So this was my attempt to make it taller, and as you can see, it looks, well, ugly. But if we get rid of that tower, it's a base I'm very proud of. The different color copper on the roofs, the whole randomness to it all, I think it looks lovely. From 100 hours base to a 1000 plus days base. And I'm talking about my castle from my 100 days series. This still is one of my favorite things I've ever built, and I know it's not completely finished at the back there, but there's so many angles of this base where it just looks amazing, and it's not even the biggest base on this world. As you can see behind it, we have this house. However, I kind of lost my sort of drive for this series at this point, and I never finished the interior. I also had this other building for my end portal, which was also huge, and you can see in this shot here how many crazy huge builds we had in this one world. Look at it. But out of all of the 3, I like this one the most, especially as it's right next to my starter base, which is right here, and you can see how we drastically improved the scale. I'm also very happy with the interior of this base, as it was the first time I'd really built an automatic sorting system, and I built it in a really fun way in my opinion, where you'd put items into this chest here, they would get shot up here, and you'd see them flying around the room. This pipe here connects up the system, that pipe there, and they'd slowly arrive in the chest, which is lovely. There's also the fun llama going around up here. I don't know what made me put this in, but I love it. And there's actually some more interior upstairs, including this netherite throne here. All in all, one of my favorite things I've ever built, including the surrounding area and the other buildings. And it's not one of the biggest things I've ever done, but it is one of the most detailed. For number 3, we have one that could change my rankings in the future. And that's because it isn't finished yet. It is, of course, my base from Empire Season 2, aka Upper Stratos. As you can see, this place is already massive, and I include everything on the bridge as being part of the base. Although the biggest section is still being built, and this is the palace here, which is going to be epic. Now, this base has proved quite a challenge so far, because as you can see, it's floating. It's all in the sky. And in the past, when I've built bases, sometimes I'll go easy on the back. I won't build it making it looking really nice in the back. Instead, it'll be quite boring. Whereas if you build in the sky, you have to do the back, the sides, the top, and now the underneath as well, as a lot of people are going to see it from down below. Meaning the amount of building is a lot. But we've got a lot of greenery in here. We're using a lot of quartz, which I'm never going to use again after this series. Well, at least not in this amount. And we've also got a lot of gold, which is also a big pain to get. But I'm very happy with how it's coming along. This could definitely turn into number 1 in the future, I think. But for now, it's a solid number 3. But make sure to stay tuned to my Empires episodes to see the palace growing soon. Very, very soon. Number 2 is our one and only modded mega base. And that is, of course, my palace from X-Life. Look at it. It's big. And also, the mods are a bit glitched, as there seems to be like loads of these random weird creature things around. They weren't there originally. Not sure what's going on. But special thanks to my lovely wife Lizzie, who kept a copy of this world. I thought I'd never see this base again. But look at it. Look at it. It's huge. Now, this thing was made easier, of course, because collecting materials in modded is a lot easier. What are these guys? Stop. As I was saying, collecting materials in modded is quite considerably easier. But still, look at this thing. This is probably my most detailed mega base ever. I know there's bits on the sides that are looking kind of empty, but like this side here is looking not empty. The tree's looking a bit dense, but we've got some like villagers and stuff here. It's kind of cool. This sort of pathway, it looks very nice. Lots of flowers, lots of greenery. I was very obsessed with hanging vines and lots of lag as well. There is so much going on in this base. It's going to be quite tricky to show you the scale of it, but you can see it's quite symmetrical, apart from the back here is a bit different in how it looks. We've got this big glass window here. And my favorite thing about this being modded is vertical slabs. Look at that. Look what you can make with vertical slabs. It's so wonderful. And this as well. Mojang say that vertical slabs will take out creativity. I disagree. Look at this. Look how cool that is. You can make such cool curves. I love it. And also we had this mod where you could combine slabs as well, so you could make really cool patterns like this. But anyway, let's have a look at the inside, because we've got lots of color in here, lots of green. There's in this little entrance hall, and all these paintings here, which are custom artwork from fans of the series. And the main area is honestly one of my favorite things I've ever built. Look at this. Wow. I know I'm using shaders. Without shaders, it's not as cool. Oh my gosh, these monsters are so annoying. But it's still very cool. But I played this series with shaders, so we're going to keep the shaders on for this tour. But here you can see an automated sorting system. This is all automatically sorting, as you can see from behind the scenes here. I don't know what that noise is, but it's very annoying. We've also got the amazing photo of Lizzie up here. The huge chandelier hanging down, and I actually documented up here, right, the different stages of the base. So this was really early on, before the base even existed. You can see Lizzie's area. That was my area, just that little bit there. And then here is where it begins even more. All my other area growing as well, but this bit especially. And then bam, that's it finished, I think, apart from maybe that section's missing. But I always love seeing that. We've also got this massive chandelier here. Round the sides, we've got an enchantment area, which is very cool. We've got these little pond areas here, which look lovely. And then round the back here, we had like a collection area as well. But I love the mix of nature in this. It's really, really quite cool. And also, it was a very functional base. Here, we had a sugarcane farm, and here, a cactus farm. If I go into Spectator, you can see them down here working away, both giving us lots of materials, which was lovely. We had a little bird garden here, which is now filled with these stupid creatures, but also loads of birds. On the other side, we had our art gallery, which, as you can see, look at these. Looking amazing. All the different types of art. And then we had this sort of greenhouse section as well, which I think had some animals in it, but I believe they all died, which is sad. Also, shout out to Lizzie's flower mod. There were so many cool flowers with this. Once again, this wasn't just off by itself. It was behind our entire area. And you can see how detailed this place is. It's kind of crazy. But the X-Life Mega Base may be one of my favorite things I've ever built. Looking back at this just now was a real good experience. I mismodded a little bit, to be honest with you. Look at all these cool blocks. And last but not least, number one. My most iconic build, in my opinion. And that is, of course, the Empire Season 1 Mazzalian Palace. Look at it. Look at all those colors. This thing is huge. I don't know how long it took to build. It was just a very long time. Lots of different materials in this thing, and honestly, I think it looks worse with shaders. I think the colors just pop a little bit more without shaders, and this thing is so big. Like, it is hard to kind of explain how big it is. It started at Y91 and then reaches the world height limit, 256. So like 170 blocks tall, roughly. The amount of concrete and just blocks in general that is used on this is insane. And yes, like everything I've done, it's not completely finished. There's sections which are not done entirely. But what I did do was the interior. And this interior looks kind of big, right? Looks kind of crazy, massive interior. Well, wait till you see how much space it takes up inside the actual base. But yeah, kind of a wacky interior, lots more color, very crazy looking, but I like it a lot. I think it looks really cool. And once again, another automated storage system. This one here actually had a shulker loader as well and worked really well, and we had plans to like expand it. We have a super smelter here as well, but if you go out of that room, you can see how much dead space there is in here. It's still so empty. Like, look how much space is left over. I really could have done more for the interior. The interior looks tiny in comparison, but I don't care. I think the different patterns, like the floor, all the different colors, all the different shapes, it still makes it my favorite thing I've ever built. Look at it. Look at it. Look at all them colors. So many little details as well in these bits here. The pillars, the shapes, everything. I love it so much. And that's why it is my favorite mega base I've ever built. I'm not sure if I'll ever be able to build anything better than this. I guess we'll have to try. But that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and I shall see you another time. Goodbye.